Zelda called out into the courtyard. "Sister, come play with me," Lynn called back in breathless amusement, swinging back to hide behind a stone pillar as a stuffy guard marched her way. He stopped suddenly, eyeing the pillar with frustration and suspicion before blowing into a silver whistle that instantly brought a small army to his side. "We'll escort you back to your chambers now, princess," the guards said in unison, saluting the angry princess as she stomped toward the castle doors in frustration. She was a rambunctious young lady, to say the least. As she trekked forward, she noticed her long emerald-green gown had become mud-swept and tattered at the hem. Without hesitation, she began ripping the dress until it stopped just above her knees. "There," she thought smugly as she marveled at her own self-made tunic. "That's much more comfortable. Now I'm free to make—" She stopped, turning abruptly on her heel to face her shiny escorts. "My!" She whipped her head round to flash a beaming smile at Zelda. "Escape!" She lunged upward, and climbed the long vines toward the highest spiraling tower. The guards could not shriek profanities at her as they wished, and she reveled in their boiling anger. One outburst and they'd be had for treason against the royal bloodline. "Good day, gentlemen," she sneered down at them before half-leaping, half-rolling through the tower's narrow opening. Zelda turned to curtsy apologetically toward the fuming guardians before leaping onto the vines and following suit behind her sister. Once she finally found her way inside the tower, she jumped onto the large bed beside Lynn, lying back to catch her breath. Lynn fell back beside her. They stared at each other wordlessly for a moment before bursting into a melodic mix of girlish giggles. "Did you see their faces? What does Father pay them for if they can't even keep up with us?" Lynn said with a sense of triumph. "Yes, the captain's face was redder than fire. I think we need to continue training them a bit more in Father's stead." I almost forgot. Father's been searching high and low for you, Lynn. He sent me to the grounds as a messenger. You've been summoned, daughter, to the throne room, and swiftly, my dearest. We've not a moment to waste for the joyous occasion to come." "Oh?" Lynn hurried to a large closet filled to the brim with silken dresses, velvet-trimmed gowns, sparkling jewels, and glittering treasures. She chose a forest-green ball gown adorned in gold trim that flowed elegantly behind her, shoulders left bare, leaving the delicate cloth to be woven together by one massive gem set high upon her chest. She danced gracefully down the marble halls, waltzing as she went across the red carpet toward the throne room. Little did she know that the coming occasion of which her father spoke would be anything for her but joyous. "Marriage, Father? Ascension to the throne? Please, Your Majesty, you know I'm not the marrying type. But Zelda, you can't deny she's amazing, and since you're so hell-bent on securing our legacy, there's always the prospect of marriage for her. Anyone would be crazy not to wish for Zelda's hand. There's not a man, merfish, nor rock creature alive in all of Hyrule that hasn't drooled at the idea of becoming her beloved." The king's eyes seemed to brighten then, and though it was a rare and quiet moment when all of Hyrule seemed still and at peace, just enough so anyway to grant the king audience with one of his most favorite maidens, Lynn could not help but feel a sense of dread steadily rising within her. "I will not take no for an answer in such uncertain times, my darling," said the king with unwavering power in his voice. "I have already made arrangements for your first meeting with Sir Ganon. He'll arrive from the farthest reaches of the Desert Kingdom in 3 days. On the walk back to Zelda's chambers, Lynn felt the life slowly draining from her body at the sudden news of marriage to a man she had never met. What could she do? Where could she go? She had no choice but to accept her father's request. It was, after all, for the good of the Hylian people, and she loved her people so. 3 days! Lynn thought as she wept into her sister's dress. She laid her head on Zelda's lap. Zelda had never felt so helpless before. Not knowing how to comfort her sister, she sat in silence, gently stroking Lynn's hair. If only I could make time stand still. And in that moment, there was a subtle shift in time. An unspoken wish was soon to be granted. The Legend of Zelda, Bonds of Blood, end of Part 1.